Still back with another super cool astrology video, and I wanted to talk about synastry. And when we have one person's Venus at a square to another person's Venus, what does this bring? There's not a lot of information to be found on same planets aspecting each other. So I'll be getting more and more into those in the future, so I'll be covering every aspect possible, even the most minor of aspects. So Venus is how we love and our style of loving, how we want to be loved and how we do our loving. What do we see that as? What is our style of that? Our love language is very much Venus. Describes our social relationships, our style of relating socially, our style of relating to friends. So it's more than our romantic relationships. It's also our values and what we value, what we deem is worth putting our energy into building and into creating. And so when we have these two in a square aspect, there's a certain amount of tension that's created between the two people's idea of what they deem to be of worth. So we tend to have very different ideas about what we're going to be spending our money on, what it is we find pleasurable or sensual, what it is we define as worth working for. So also socially, we're going to have very different styles, typically have very different friends, and they may not like each other with this particular square. There's a certain amount of tension that exists. It's attractive in the beginning, but over time, hard aspects between people's Venus tend to show up, unless we have a lot of other good things going on, because there's no one or even more aspects that's going to kill a relationship. It's the entirety of the thing that we have to take into consideration, but just in themselves. Hard aspects between someone's Venus puts our idea of what is, what feels good, what makes us feel good against each other. Preferably, we'd like to have that more on the same page in a romantic relationship. Because if there's a certain amount of, because there's, in friction, there's going to be separation. And hopefully what we're looking for is to learn tolerance. That's why this exists. We're teaching each other to be tolerant of each other's social and love preferences. We may not agree with them. We may even think they're stupid, but they aren't not worth that person having. So we are going to experience a certain amount of different preferences in food, restaurants, of course, friends. Work is going to be a big one. Because Venus is also, representative of the 7th house, not just of the 2nd. We have different ideas about what love is and about how to be loved and how to love another. And so unless you're a very evolved person, you're gonna get into a relationship so you can feel good. So because the other person makes you feel good. And that's hard pressed to come by with this particular square after a certain amount of time. We tend to not really love each other's preferences with this square. And so, it's going to be hard to agree on movies. It's going to be hard to agree on where to go out to eat. It's going to be hard to agree on what friends we should keep around. It doesn't mean we can't be together. Most people, are going to back away from this one. And maybe that's wise if you're operating from a point of view that 99% of the population is, that we're getting into relationships to feel good and to have somebody enhance our life and to feel like we've connected with somebody else. And so we feel connected in general more to the world. And this is probably not gonna be an aspect that contributes to that. But if you're coming at love from a different point of view, in that it is about giving, it is about giving that love instead of having somebody so they can fulfill you, this is not going to be a problem. So it just depends on how you view life and what you're looking for from relationships. If you're looking for something really traditional or something where we're, really fulfilling each other or making each other feel good about ourselves, this probably ain't it. But it's not insurmountable. It's not. It requires a certain amount of patience and understanding and scheduling some different activities between us. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please subscribe to my channel. You can find me on the internet at truthandaspectastrology.com, Facebook, Instagram, also at Truth and Aspect Astrology. Yes, I do private consultation. I'm mainly a relationship and intimacy astrologer, but I interpret all types of charts. And I'll be back super soon with more super coolness. Bye-bye.